Hi, my name is Alan Hunt, and I'm a digital marketing business analyst. I've been doing a LinkedIn campaign to get myself a job since about May 13th of 2019. This is an update on how it's been going up until I pulled this data on September 10th. Over that 4-month period, I've published 30 posts on LinkedIn. That's about one every 3 business days. And on average, I received 715 views per post. One of my goals has been to extend my organic reach beyond my network. Roughly 500 followers, and on average, my post reached 144% of that audience. So I've been getting an organic boost to each post of about 44%, or 200 people, more or less, who are outside of my direct network. They're second-level connections of connections. I increased my followers by about 100, and the campaign resulted in 3 qualified job leads. I received 21,461 total post views in that 4-month period. My most viewed post receiving 3,107 views, and my least viewed post receiving 100 views. The first few weeks of my campaign, I put a lot of work into my posts. But with 297 views per post, I was kind of disappointed with their performance. I became a little discouraged and disillusioned about the efficacy of my plan, and I slowed down for a while. During that period, I read a post by Dave Gerhardt where he talked about the LinkedIn algorithm. That and my involvement with the Optimum Talent Networking Group prompted me to start actively trying to figure out how that algorithm worked and testing out what I'd learned. I applied these learnings and got a really big improvement on my 13th post. I received 3,000 views, which was almost 10 times my average. At approximately 2,500 views, my next best performing post was a document explaining some of what I'd learned about how to improve organic reach on LinkedIn. At 1,652 views, the third best performing post was one where I asked my connections if they could recognize one of our colleagues from a pixel portrait that I'd done of him. The fourth best performing post was another meta LinkedIn document about what the LinkedIn algorithm likes. And on the back half of my campaign, I improved my views to 994 per post, or almost 2 times my network. Here's a chart showing you views aggregated by LinkedIn post type, so you can get an idea of what types of posts seem to work better for me than others. If you're not familiar with the different types of LinkedIn content, then this may be a bit confusing, so I'll give an example for each. A text post is basically just that. On September 10th, when I pulled this data, I hadn't actually done any of these posts. But since then, I've done a few, but I think it's still too early to start including them. Document posts can be multiple page PDFs, Word documents, or PowerPoints. They can be viewed in the LinkedIn interface as a sequence that you click or swipe. You can also download them to your computer or phone. This was the most successful type of post on average, with almost 2,000 views. To put that in context, on average, my document posts reached 399% of my LinkedIn network. That's almost 4 times my network. Image posts received 1,000 views on average. This amounts to a reach of 218%, or more than 2 times my network. Videos refer to native LinkedIn video, not YouTube or Vimeo. My LinkedIn videos had an average of 498 views, and that's roughly equivalent to the size of my network, so it was 100% reach. Direct links are posts that share a link to an external website. My average views for this type of post were 390, or about 78% of my network. Anytime you select the share option on somebody's post within LinkedIn, that's a reshare. My reshares had a reach of about 44% of my network. They only got seen by a little bit less than half. The consensus I've heard from LinkedIn experts is that resharing other people's posts is not effective for improving your organic reach. Articles are essentially blog posts that are native to LinkedIn, and on average, my articles received 129 views, which means they reached about a quarter of my network. So now that I've amazed you with these numbers, I'm going to show you how my posts stack up against my benchmark. This will help give you some comparative context for them. And this is my benchmark, John Aspirian. John's somebody I met virtually through this campaign. His tagline is that he's a relentlessly helpful technical copywriter for B2B websites. From my interactions with John, he definitely lives up to this. He's always really responsive and very helpful. This table's from a post he published back in July in which he provided his stats for different types of posts. I've used that as a benchmark to compare my post performance against. And I've set up a bit.ly for the post if you want to go check it out. It's bit.ly/LI POSTSTATS. Let's do a comparison of my average views versus John's average views and see how my numbers look. The slate blue bars are John's views and the orchid bars are my views. I didn't do any text. John got about 6,000 views on average for his text posts, and he got more than 12,000 views on average for his documents versus my 2,000 for documents. He's doing about 6 times better than me. John's image post received an average of 3,247 views, which is about 3 times more than my average of 1,091. My LinkedIn post received an average of 500 views, while John's have more than 4,000. He's doing 8 times better. John didn't report on direct links or reshares because he says they don't perform well for him, so I declare myself the winner of those 2 categories by default. I'm not too proud to do that. For articles, he's generally doing about 10 times better than me. I wanted to wrap up with some insights about the pros and cons of the strategy. First thing, do not underestimate how much work it takes to do this. If I wasn't unemployed, I would not have been able to devote as much time to this and do as much content. Once content's created, you have to engage with people. You do have to respond to other people's comments, comment on other people's posts, have discussions with people. In general, the more interaction you have with them, the more likely it is that they'll see your future posts. There appears to be a limited adoption of LinkedIn in my business community. I live in Barrie, Ontario, about an hour north of Toronto, and there's a very vibrant local business community here. But from what I've seen, I don't think people are super active on LinkedIn. Part of my strategy is being hampered by that because it's hard to build connections on a channel if nobody's using that channel. My solution has been to start to expand beyond LinkedIn and also network in my community in person as much as possible. Generally, a lot of people still see LinkedIn as a resume site and are not active on it. A big pet peeve I have is the limited and easily misunderstood data analytics that are provided by LinkedIn. I plan on doing a video in the future where I complain about that in a lot more detail, so stay tuned. Benefits of executing the strategy for me have been that I've made lots of new connections, a lot of new friends, and had a lot of great conversations with people. That's really been a huge value of this. I reconnected with people that I hadn't talked to in a long time who saw some of my posts and got in contact with me. And everybody's been really supportive of my content, so I'm very thankful for that. I learned some things and was exposed to new perspectives. Because I was paying so much attention to what was going on in LinkedIn, I was reading stuff that I probably wouldn't have been if I wasn't doing this, and that helped me develop new knowledge. Because I had to do sound and video editing, I'm a little bit better at sound editing and a little bit better at video editing, although I'm sure anybody who's a real editor will have a lot of things to say about that. In terms of the LinkedIn algorithm, I feel pretty confident now talking about my made-up idea of how that works. As far as I can tell, everybody's got their own made-up idea of how it works, and nobody really is sure. I had a lot of fun collaborating with my daughter Lola on an animated video to help promote one of my underperforming articles. That was definitely one of the highlights of the summer. Hopefully my content, comments, and conversations have helped some of you as much as everyone else's posts have helped me. I really truly had fun making this stuff, and hopefully that comes across. What are my next steps? Well, I'm going to keep making LinkedIn content and get a job. This process seems to be working for me, and hopefully people are getting value out of it. Let me know what you think.